Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Philly Fan Radio. I'm Jon Myer along with Dan Palmieri, and today we're going to be talking about the fiasco of the Eagles versus the Cowgirls this past weekend. We have a lot of ranting going on, a lot of speculation. I don't even say speculation, a lot of things that we suggested happen. But remember, this entire series, everything that we do here is from the fan perspective. We have no insights in anything. In fact, we have no insider information. We can only speculate on what it is. And from a fan perspective, I'm pretty sure you're feeling the same thing. Dan, before I go through the recap and the predictions of us last week, I'm going to let you rant for a couple minutes real quick.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was kind of encompassing what we've seen all season. It was, that first half, or it wasn't even the first half. It was like the first quarter and a half. They looked fantastic, but there was kind of signs where you knew that they weren't going to be able to hold on, or you had that feeling because they still couldn't run the ball. And that's a difference from last year, is that when we got a lead last year, we ran the ball down people's throats. In the fourth quarter, we dominate because the defense was tired at that point. But this year, it's crazy. You watch any NFL game, you're routinely seeing the offensive line on those teams getting pushed. Maybe it's only 3 yards, but, we're not seeing any push, interior or on the on the boundary right now. And it's just crazy because this team, let's go back to 2018, and we had the two-headed monster with Ajayi and Blunt. After that, we had McCoy, I think, for maybe one season. Or no, it wasn't even McCoy. It was Miles Sanders for a bunch of years. Then, in 23, we had DeAndre Swift. We had DeAndre Swift go for 1,000 yards. Miles Sanders goes for 1,000 yards. We all know what happened with Saquon last year, over 2,000 yards. This year, it doesn't seem like we can do anything in the run game. And we'll talk about it more as we go on, but it's ridiculous at this point. They've taken, and whether it be the offensive line, whether it be Kevin Patullo, whether it be Nick Sirianni, and I'm sorry, I cannot put this on Jalen. I thought Jalen looked good. Everybody's like bashing him, saying, oh, well, he missed this throw, or he took that stupid sack. And yeah, he took the stupid sack, but overall, I thought he played an excellent game. And, they've taken effectively a top 5 offense, and because of whatever it is, they are ranked 26th in total offense. And there's so much money invested on that side of the ball. I don't know how Nick Sirianni can go to bat and say Kevin Patullo is doing a good job. No, he's not doing a good job. He is not maximizing players' potential. I understand the players need to execute. And if I hear execute, and if I hear another damn press conference that says we have to control the things that take no talent, I'm going to punch somebody in the goddamn face because I'm so sick of it. You've had 11 weeks of playing. If you can't master the stupid things that take no talent, then you're not coaching well. Whether that be Sirianni, whether that be Kevin Patullo, something needs to get through their goddamn heads. And I'm at a loss for words, honestly. And I think for me, I'm coming to a sad realization that the Super Bowl might be out of our reach.
Dan, and we're going to jump into a lot of the things you said, especially the run game, because it's weird how one running back versus the other, the plays are different, and yet the other is getting more yards when he's in. And before we get on to that topic, let's talk to everybody about what our predictions were last week. And I'm sorry, Dan and I both predicted the Eagles win. And you would have thought we would have been right about it, because Dan's prediction was 30-24 with an Eagles win. If they kept the hammer down, it might have been 30-7 in a blowout, and Hurts over 225 passing yards, 2 TDs. I predicted 27-21 Eagles win. Now, even if they would have kept the hammer down, they did not score at all past the second quarter, half of the second quarter. This is ridiculous. And I'll tell you what, Dan, I got to rant just for a few moments, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
One of the biggest things is when we started this game, they were looking awesome. The throws, passing was unbelievable. It shut everybody up. The ball was going to AJ. AJ looked like he had some heart in this game, catching, running, pushing, making those extra yards. Hurts looked completely awesome seeing this happen. We get up 21 points. And by the way, defense was phenomenal as well. 21 points into the second quarter. And then the tides turned. All of a sudden, we had some defensive members go down. They got hurt. Jomo, I think, got hurt somewhere in there. Then Reed. And I think that was in the second quarter. If not, it was the third. But you saw when Dak got that first touchdown, that is when I'm sure every Eagles fan felt this thing turning. You felt the change. You felt the offensive play calling get soft after going up 21 points. We tried to establish the run at that point, but we didn't stay down. And when we were running it and it wasn't working, why didn't we just stay with our passing? Go back to it. No in-game adjustments at all in this game. We pulled out our color-coded sheet and circles and squares and said, we're just going to still run it and try to hopefully hang on there. But defense took some massive hits. I'm sorry, this was an unbelievable. Entire season has been the tale of two halves. There has not been a complete game happening in this, and I am
New York.
sick of the
The Giants.
Actually, you know what? That is correction. That is finally the first complete game that they had going into the bye. That was it. But after that, there's nothing. You know what? And as an Eagles fan, you sit there and you think about this and you're like, one game was complete. Other than that, they're not consistent. I am sick of the press conferences going in there and Nick saying, it's on me. We got some adjustments. We got to do this. Still finding an identity. Dude, you're in week 12 of this. There should not be any more of finding your identity. Stop taking the... I understand you want to take the blame. I understand you want to soak it in and protect your team. But Kevin Patullo is not our OC. He is not a guy for the job. His vanilla play calling, his stuff he's doing. Granted, he's not solely to blame for this. And I'm going to stop ranting for a few seconds and let Dan chime in.
No, I completely agree. We kind of texted throughout the game. And the thing is that when an offense is struggling the way they are, your offensive coordinator's primary job is to put players in a position to succeed. If they're not executing what's called, then you need to make adjustments. When is the last time that we saw an adjustment from our offensive side of the ball to counter what they did on defense? And you heard everybody say, well, we didn't really prepare for the 5-man front that Dallas was doing. Dallas has been running the 5-man front since they got Quinnen Williams, and that's either a game or two.
Glazier, who is not even an NFL analyst, said that they're going to do the 5-man. I mean, this guy see it. Why didn't we?
Yeah, and that comes back to preparation and coaching. So it's clear that they're not coaching. It's clear, okay? Sirianni is a good coach. He is good getting his message across, but he is not a good offensive mind. I don't care if he came from Indy, where he was the offensive coordinator, and he had Phillip Rivers, and he had whoever else was there during the time. He's not, his philosophies, his schemes are not successful in the NFL. We saw it. His first year, he had half the season, the offense sucked. He gave it over to Shane Steichen. It was great. Steichen the following year, offense was fantastic. Okay, he gets a job. Brian Johnson was just an extension of Sirianni's scheme. He didn't have any say. He was just running the plays that Sirianni mapped out. He picked...
Sirianni handed him the offensive playbook. Here, this is what we're going to do. These are the plays you get to run.
Right, and then it didn't work. We all know how that ended. Kellen Moore comes in, and Kellen Moore brings creativity, brings motion. He brings not only his own scheme, but he tailored the offense to what they did successfully. And that's what he did. Everybody was saying the passing game was crap last year. Passing game wasn't needed, okay? The
Nope.
running game was it. And then we go to Kevin Patullo, who, again, is an extension of Nick Sirianni. The offensive scheme that Sirianni runs is not successful in the NFL, and it needs to stop. I I just don't get it with the scheme. And just real quick, I know I'm taking over a little bit, but I have never seen so many offensive linemen whiff on blocks. I mean, we're saying offensive linemen are supposed to push back the defensive line in order to get 1, 2 yards. I've never seen a running back hit in the backfield so much. So Dickerson needs to sit, and I'm saying benched. I'm saying he's not healthy, flat out. Juergens, I don't know what the hell happened to him. I know he's injured, but he needs to sit. It's not a coincidence that when we beat the Giants, it was Brett Toth in there at center. And I am not a Brett Toth fan at all, but he performed better than Juergens did. And Steen, don't get me started on Steen. He blows ass. So goodbye, Steen. It's just our offensive line is really, for the first time in probably, well, you know what? I can't even put a year on it, but for the longest time, it is the detriment to this team.
Dan, one of the biggest things that I looked at, and I was watching and replaying the game, and Dan's like, why would you put yourself through that? Because I wanted to see how the offensive line was performing. And time after time, when it was a running play, and by the way, don't get me started on this whole pistol shotgun shit with Saquon, no downhill, should be under the center crap. I can't see the last night. It's not too often that Hurts is under center for it. But I looked at it, and they know whenever Hurts is going to hand the ball off to Saquon. Saquon's got no movement. It's to the thing. He's not running down it. He's got no speed into it. The offensive line is getting pushed back 3 to 4 yards already by the defenders, and it's only the front 4 or even the front 5 of Dallas. And by that time, Saquon's getting hit for -2 or 3 yards. There's a stat out there that is, and I'm not big on stats, but I just want to kind of give you a little thing, is that Ashton Gentry from the Raiders has as many negative plays as Saquon. And you see where the Raiders are at. The run game's not working. Is it Kevin Patullo's fault? Not entirely. It's the offensive line, but he is the offensive coordinator. So it is his fault because he should be looking at those. Steam, let's put Toth in. What's going on with Dickerson? Good guy. I know we know he can play, but he's just got to heal. Mailata's getting pushed back a little bit thing. Now Lane Johnson's out. Fred Johnson's in there. He actually did a semi-decent game. He got pushed back, I think, and let a couple come through. So you see Hurts not getting the ball out and taking the sacks on this. And it's so funny that this game was aided by a little bit of the Dallas mistakes. They were hitting penalties. They were getting some of the things there. The punt by hitting the leg on it, yes, there was a little bit of a tip, but nobody knew that after 30 rewinds of Fox and going back and forth and seeing that the tip that had been negated. That was like halfway through the quarter before they said, oh, it was tip. Oh, well, we made a mistake. Hey, I get that. You didn't have the video. We didn't even know it until they pulled it up there. But why'd they get so conservative after being up 21 points? Because it's Petula. Oh, we should. No, 45 points. Then you can let off the gas just a little bit and try to establish your run game.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, you're up 21, and you went up 21 by the passing game, okay? I understand that usually you dictate the game, when you're in the lead, you run the ball, okay? You're not running the ball well. It's just a simple fact. And you got to go back to what you were doing, and that's passing the ball successfully. And they tried to run, and like you said, they're getting losses constantly. I mean, we're looking at 2nd down and 12, 2nd down and 13. Oh, God forbid he gets back to the line. We're still at a 2nd down and 10. And, when we go back to the running game, I have to put some of this on Saquon too. I
Yep.
mean, I understand. He's trying to make the home run. He really is. But there's times that he can cut back, or times that if he just puts his head down, he'll get that 3 yards. And he's trying to dance back there. He's trying to juke people and spin, and it's just not working,
The
you know?
holes are getting stuffed. The offensive line, and I agree with you that in a lot of incidents, it looks like Saquon might get conservative on it, right? Or maybe he's being methodical. And what's that? I literally agree that we should just, if he can get 5 yards, I'd be happy. 5 yards on the first time that he touches it. Just get it going. And the other thing that you were talking about is he actually works better on a swing pass out or even passing. I watched McCaffrey last night. He got more yards in passing than he did in rushing in a lot of ways. Now, he did later in the game get more rushing yards, but it's just unbelievable how we have a awesome player, a top-notch, freaking elite running back, and he went 10 touches for 22 yards. Hurts had 33.
But at the same time, in terms of running the ball, I'm okay with him only getting 10 touches in that game because of the fact that they couldn't run the ball. So,
Oh, I agree with you on that thing, but I'm just saying it's just the fact that he's 10 touches, only 22 yards.
oh, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I think our run game is horrible. And until you get that offensive line, the coordinator, and the running back all on the same page to open up some holes, it's unbelievable how you watch other teams and there's these big gaping holes.
Yeah, and like you said, I watched San Francisco last night, and, McCaffrey's running wild there in the second half. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's getting 8 yards a carry because of the fact that he's not being touched until he's 5 yards downfield. And I just don't understand how inept they could be in the running game. I I see people pushing back the line. I mean, just 1 yard, 2 yards. I mean, I saw a crazy stat, and just think about this. The Eagles punt the ball, okay, on 46% of their drives. And get this, we're in week 12. We played 11 games. The Eagles have only been in the red zone 17 times. So imagine that. That means that they're a tiny bit over one touchdown a game in the red zone. To me, that's a crazy stat. I mean, they lead the league in red zone efficiency. I think they're 15 out of 17. Yippee when they can't get in there. So, I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling how inept this is. And I know it's easy to say, oh, well, get rid of Petullo. And the only reason at this point I'm saying that we need to take the play calling away from Petullo, I don't know who the hell's going to do it, to be honest with you. I'm just saying it because maybe a different voice is in there. Anything to change it, because let's face it, they're winning. When they get a good offensive player, they go down for a touchdown, they're winning those drives based on talent alone.
Yep.
There's nothing in that scheme that is scheming them open. When's the last time?
They're just either taking the ball out of the air or they're making themselves open because the play is totally baffed.
Yeah, when's the last time we saw a mesh route and a natural pick? When's the last? Everybody runs it. It seems like we don't run it at all. When's the last time we saw an Eagles receiver running wide open? I mean, the receivers are making catches mainly contested, and it's just our talent is winning these drives. There's nothing offensively that, from a schematic standpoint, that's winning these drives. And, they're going to make the playoffs. Okay, let's not get that, let's just throw out the idea that they're going to collapse. I don't think that they're going to collapse because their schedule now is favorable, other than this Friday. But you're in week 11, you're searching for an identity on the offensive side. It's ridiculous. And you know what? The defense did let up a lot in this game, but I can't fault them that much because if you're tired as a defense and your offense goes out there and has a 2-minute drive where they punt the ball every single time, I'm sorry, you're going to let up some big plays because you're freaking tired.
Yep. You got to put it on your shoulders as an offense to do something. And that's the other thing is like, I think, first of all, when we say Kevin Patullo's got to go, I don't, you know what? Put him as the ball boy. I don't really care because you can keep him on the team. Just take the play calling away from him, but don't hand it to Nick. And that would be the only other option at this point. No, I don't think they're going to make any in-season adjustments because, like you said, they're going to make the playoffs. So there is the concern of them collapsing. So, Dan, I like that you put this chart in here, and this is all the Eagles' possessions, and you kind of go down it is Eagles touchdown, 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 and Philly punts, and then end of the half, okay? So 3 touchdowns and a punt. And actually, that's not too bad. Dallas did get a touchdown in there before the half. Then let's look at the second half of this one. Eagles punt, 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 and time of possession was 1 minute, 20 seconds, 2 minutes, 9 seconds, 2 minutes, 16 seconds. Then Elliott missed a field goal. I'm not upset at Elliott for missing the field goal. In fact, I don't really have much of a comment to say. There's obviously indoor, whatever you want to say on it. There's other problems in this team rather than Elliott missing this one. Then there was the fumble and the punt. The time of possession, the only time that they had even significant time of possession was in the beginning, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. It just amazes me on how many and you even called this out on how many times they punt, 3 and outs. It's just ridiculous that they don't. And this is going off of your comment here with that they're not giving the defense enough time to rest. Now, there were injuries on there. Blankenship was out. The Sidney Brown in. Yay. Makuba's out, and he's actually might, depending on how things go, might come back in the postseason. I'm not counting on it, being that we're already in week 12, heading into week 13. The Ajomo did get injured, but he came back. So, and we've seen like Ringo in here, Adoree Jackson into it. I don't put this on the defense. I put this solely on the offensive line, the running, and number one, onto Petula. His plays from the beginning have sucked. They've been scripted for the first 2 series. Other than that, he tries to rinse and repeat. There's no creativity in him. The shit is boring.
Yeah, it is boring. There's no adjustments. There's no signs that Kevin Patullo is a good offensive coordinator in this league. And you said it, that they're not going to make an in-season change. And I tend to be on the opposite of that, only because
you think they would make an in-season change on OC. What would it take for them to make a change?
They completely shit the bed against the Bears. So
you think there's a possibility that after this Black Friday, if they shit the bed at home against the Bears, which would put them 8-4, they're still playoff contenders, whatever it is, you think they would make a change?
I think that if they lose, let's say 21-14 or whatever, okay, and the offense looks completely inept again, I think Howie comes down from the Golden Tower and says, I've invested hundreds of millions of dollars on this offense. Something needs to be done. And they take it's an extended, I say this game because it's an extended week, meaning they are off until the next Monday when they play Monday night against the Chargers in LA. So there's an acclimation time that they can actually take. Is it going to be a huge schematic change? No. But you cannot tell me that they're going to be okay with Petullo and the fact that this offense cannot score. And I don't care if every single offensive player comes out and says, oh, well, it's Petullo. It's, we're just not executing. There's got to be something. They have to do some kind of shakeup because the walls are caving in on this offense. I mean, you're going from, they had 10 against Green Bay. They had 16 against the Lions. You had 21 against let's just put it out there. That's a bad defense, okay? They are improving, but this isn't a top 10 defense. You should have lit them up. And you just, you completely just crapped out. And I don't know. I can't see a world where Petullo stays coaching this team if they cannot come out and not blow out the Bears, but at least score 27, 28. If they don't do that, then there's got to be something that's done. And you're not going to, let's just put it out there, you're not going to change quarterbacks. You're not going to, bench receivers.
I don't think that solves the problem.
No, it
Jalen's
doesn't.
going nowhere.
Well, who's the easy scapegoat in this scenario? It's Petula.
He's been the easy scapegoat the entire. In fact, his entire career as a franchise QB. Everybody's looked at him, but he wins, and I think it's because of his personality. He comes out onto the interview when he talks to people. He's very low key and mellow, and I think the passion is not there to be like, okay, listen, we messed up and we need to fix this. And I'm going to fix this. You know what? It's totally on us as a team to do it. And he's very low key. And he's always got the shit end of the stick as an MVP. Everything. I think Sirianni and his protecting Kevin Patullo is had enough, and he needs to make that decision for the team, not as a personal decision, but for the right. You said that you think if they shit the bed here against the Bears, that Howie's going to make a change. What did you say, like 21-14, 27-14 or something like that?
If they can't break the 20-point mark and they lose this game and the offense looks as inept as it did against Dallas, I can't see a world where there isn't a change made in this mini bye.
I think so. I'm going to go off of that. Now, why I don't feel that they're going to make a change, I'm actually kind of like, do I want them to lose if there's going to be a change? Because
God, no.
I mean, like, literally. I mean, how do you not want to? But like, okay, so 8-4 mathematically, playoffs are still there. New play color, things could get sparked. I don't think a 21-14 or even a 27-14 is going to make that significant change, even with the offense struggles. I think if they get blown out 0-21, 27, or 35-7. Then yes, I don't see that as because the defense is still strong. So I don't see them putting up that many points because then it'll be on the defense. I think if it comes down to, say, 14-0, the defense will look good. And unfortunately, and it will come down onto Jalen a little bit. But when you look at the play calling and the stupid running crap, I don't know, man. I'm not like a bittersweet. Like, how do you plan this?
Yeah, and,
Who would you put in there as an offensive coordinator, though? Okay, so Petula's out.
I don't think there's a good option, so I did write it down.
There's not a good internal option, and if Sirianni promotes anybody else within, I think they're going to be standing outside the NovaCare.
I think they're going to stand outside the NovaCare regardless. In 23, they were burning trash cans with Brian Johnson's name on it. You don't think that they're going to be out there clamoring for Kevin Patullo being fired?
I'm surprised you're not.
Yeah,
only because they're winning. That's
I'll
why.
Like the fire. I'll like the goddamn fire. I don't care.
I think because they're winning, that is the only reason things are not going south for Eagles fans yet. Even though we all have the same feeling, I think winning definitely solves a bunch of problems.
It does, but what I'm saying with them making a change, think about it this way: your window of opportunity is to make a Super Bowl is kind of closing. And I just don't see a world where A.J. Brown is on this team next year. They're not going to run it back. I don't see it. Maybe he will be, but I don't see him being on the team. So your window of opportunity to have this offense is dwindling. You've got teams that are young and up and coming in the NFC now. Okay, you're going to have to fight more. And so something's got to change. I don't think there's a good internal option, but maybe there's a different voice out there that can
Who?
Spark. Well, okay, so it's not the greatest thing, but they do have Scott Loeffler, who did call plays. He was the Bowling Green head coach. Okay, it's not like he came from this great
Who?
SEC program. Yeah, I know. And then you had Parks Frazier, who everybody seems to love as a coach. He coached the offense under Jeff Saturday when he was an interim for the Colts. Those don't spark, oh God, let's go. But
What's Frank
something's
Wright
got.
doing now? He's sitting on his couch?
He's sitting on his couch. But do you honestly think that they're going to pull somebody in from the outside this late? I don't know. The offensive
Yeah,
system, whatever.
I don't want anybody within.
Oh, I don't want anybody from within either. But I
Yeah.
mean, let's face it. If they bring in, let's say, if they have Parks Frazier, they promote from within. Can it get worse? Can it honestly get worse? It's not like they're winning games based on schematics
Oh,
and
that's a very tough question. Right now it's just we're winning off of talent, and there's always somebody better out there that is just going to make a change or make a difference.
I agree, but are you going to bring in, let's just say for conversation's sake, Frank Reich, okay? Are you really going to bring him in and in a week and some odd days have him implement something different in this offense? Or are you going to have him call the plays that Sirianni writes out and hope that he can make in-game adjustments?
What's the
It's,
difference between the guys in-house? What are they going to do? What are they going to change up in a week, right?
I,
I
I
I
don't know.
I'm playing the devil's advocate here
No,
because
I completely understand.
here's
And
what
I don't have a
happens.
good
Either way,
answer for you.
the guys inside are going to listen to Sirianni. Oh, thank you for giving me this position in this role. I'm going to do great. Yeah, you're going to do great as long as you run my plays. Here's the playbook. By the way, it's 5 plays, and we use the pistol 90% of the time. So make sure you use that. I'll be watching you.
And I completely agree. It's all going to be an extension of Sirianni. This season, in terms of offense, unless they somehow get it figured out under Petullo, this is not going to be a great offense. They're going to have to win based on their defense. And the way that you win based on your defense is still you got to have at least a consistent running game. Okay? I'm not talking about 250 yards a game, but let's put up 100 yards a game rushing, because if you rush the ball, you're eating that clock. And to go back a little bit on those drives, we said punt, 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 but listen to this time of possession that you gave your defense. Now, going to games, I've actually stupidly watched how long a TV timeout is. It's usually around 2 minutes and a half, okay? 2.5 minutes. So these drives, when your defense is kind of tired, 1 minute 27, 2 minutes 9 seconds, 2 minutes 16 seconds. Oh, 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Woohoo. 4 minutes 12 seconds, 2 minutes 3 seconds. You have TV timeouts that are longer than your drives. And it's
I
crazy.
never looked at it that way. That's horrible.
It's absolutely horrible. The only thing you can hope for at that time is that you have a long beer commercial, and, maybe there's a TV blackout where you get longer extension. I mean, it's just crazy how inept this offense is. It's not like they're driving down the field and getting stuck at the 40-yard line, of the opposing team. It's not like they're getting into the red zone and then just crapping out and kicking field goals. They're not even doing that. It's just insane.
No team is actually respecting the Eagles at all because they know how they're not. So they know the run
I
game
wouldn't.
is not working. And I think if they go to the passing, it will open up those opportunities. Jalen needs to be an option to run, quarterback or draw, whatever. It needs to be an option periodically. I don't want the guy to get hurt. I don't mind him sliding. He was actually had a bunch of heart for that one touchdown where he got stopped at like the 3rd-yard line and he pushed his way through and made the touchdown. That was awesome. But I just can't stand that we are trying to force the run game. Dan, one of the things that, and I'm gonna switch just a little
Well,
bit,
let me
real
ask you a
quick.
question though,
Go.
real quick before you switch. In your opinion, is Jalen healthy?
Yes,
And
notice the long pause, and I'm thinking about that.
I asked that because he looks slow as hell out there. When
Yeah,
he
but
pulls
last
the
year
ball to
wasn't
the
he
option,
injured going into it? Wasn't it? No, it wasn't live. 23 hamstring.
23.
Something was going on where he wasn't giving up. Do I think he looks slow as hell? I think he's slower than what we've seen, but I think more of his option is, and I can't even say age because he was good last year. Does he look slow as hell? I think he's healthy. I just don't think. I think maybe too many squats. I don't know. I don't see anything concerning for an injury wise. It is concerning for his speed wise on getting to the outside because it feels like he's slower than the defense coming in to get him. So
I looked at my wife, and the first thing I said was, he looks like Nick Foles and the drunken giraffe out there. He looks slow. He does. When he hold the few times that he held the ball on the option or the RPO and he went around the outside, he's being chased down by defensive tackles.
yep,
Last year, and not in 23 because he was injured, but last year and in the previous years, that defensive tackle was not catching him. He
nope.
was getting to the outside. So that's the only reason I say that I don't know if he's 100% healthy. That's not an excuse. Okay, not an excuse at all. But I wanted to raise that to you because I just don't see the speed. I don't see the burst. He's always going to have that toughness because he's pretty big built guy,
Yep.
but I just don't see the speed. So go ahead. You could switch up now.
No, I was actually so the last part of the offense. I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit more about them. There's a couple of other things I want to touch on. The last play for the Eagles, 3rd and 2. The decision to pass it was bonehead, was stupid. All right. I don't even know why you freaking did it. Listen, it's 2 yards. While your run game sucked, I looked at the play. Hurts could have actually stepped up a little bit there and probably got to 2 yards. And if he only got 1, it's a tush push. And then you push that in there. I think the play calling there, we have seen it not once, not twice, and I think this is the 3rd or 4th time. We've seen where they're about to lose the play calling at the end, or actually they won conservatively in the one game with the stupid play call as well. I can't stand that. Why did we not? Hell, why didn't even tush push it twice or attempt a tush push? It didn't work, and do one of your fake ones. I don't know, and I don't care. That was a bonehead. And then Sirianni taking a timeout with 45 seconds left as well. I'm not sure the decisions on the ending of these games at all.
Yeah, I didn't understand the timeout. And to go back to the 3rd and 2, remember, we had 2nd and 2. We did. We had 2nd and 2. And we had 2 incompletions. So, and I'm pretty sure
It could have been like, 3rd and 5 then or 2nd and 5 then because of the run game. I get it. I understand. But, swing out to Saquon, run out to the side. I don't know. But
well,
it was just
correct
too
me if
easy.
I'm
We should have been
wrong.
able to get it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but on 1st down, was that the 8-yard carry by Tank Bigsby?
I'd have to go back and look
Honestly,
at it.
I can't remember, but whatever. You got 2nd and 2. Why not put in Tank Bigsby and just run up the middle?
Well,
If
that's
you
going to open
lose
up a whole
yards,
new can talking about Tank, and we can jump on that wagon right now because I think the play calling for Tank versus Saquon is different, and of course the mindset is different. Where Saquon, it feels like he's trying to get those massive yards, but I feel like when it gets to Tank, he's getting those chunk yards. He's doing it. I don't understand why we don't have the same play calling for both, or put Tank in a little more to see if it changes. Maybe. Listen, I'm not saying you're going to switch number 1 and number 2 backs, but I'm saying that there are some times in a game that a player is going to have a better outcome. Look at, what was it, Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. Anytime you put Boston Scott against the Giants, he was a Giants killer. He would go in there and dominate them. But other games, you switched it up. You knew where his strengths were.
Yeah, and like you said, we're not saying replace Saquon, but maybe what I would like to see at least, maybe get Tank Bigsby, I don't know, 7 to 10 touches a game,
Yep.
carries wise, and Saquon get 15 to 20. I don't see
What's wrong
why
with a
you.
two-headed monster like that, man?
Yeah, and you're not doing it because Saquon's crap. You're doing it because it's a change of pace, and you see Tank Bigsby running with a little more conviction up the center, or if for some ungodly reason the holes do open up for Tank Bigsby. Maybe that's because they don't respect the run as much with him in there, but run the ball with him until they start to respect it, and then you can base things off of that. But again, what does that go back to? In-game adjustments. When's the last time we made an in-game adjustment? And I heard Avant say this on that 3rd and 2. They ran the exact same play that they ran when AJ caught the slant and went for like 20 yards. And the difference this time was that the Cowboys knew it was coming and played inside leverage on AJ. So there goes the slant is taken away. So, you know, you're
Everybody was
running.
covered on that play. I looked at it from all angles. There was no open receiver, but there was a hole in the center. Or why didn't we run it on second? Why didn't we run it on third? Why didn't we push it on second or third? You want this game. You want to win it. You had this game in your pocket until you just let off the gas.
Yeah, you absolutely did. And, you know, even if they lit it up in the passing game, you still have concerns in the running game. I mean, is it sustainable to pass the ball 40 times a game and only get like 22 yards rushing in a game? I don't think it is. But at least you'd be winning. So I don't know what you do from this standpoint. That's why I said, you know, let's put it this way. They better come out on Friday and light the world on fire. If they come out and they lay an egg, my God, it's going to be a disaster.
I think one of the big, if they come out and lay an egg, the fans are going to get in a roar. I don't care 8-4 or not. And it's going to be one of those things. Dan, you said that Jalen was going to pass for over 225 yards in this game. He actually did 289. So congratulations on that. But, they still lost. I know. I feel the same way. The stats on this, the passing yards, by the way, their passing was phenomenal in the first half. Total yards, 276. You know what they got for rushing yards? 63. 63 yards. That is.
And Jalen he was
33.
our leading rusher. Yep.
He had 33 yards. Bigsby
So we had 30 yards.
8. Yep. Bigsby had 8, and Saquon had 22. Between
It's
two.
dreadful.
It is horrible that your QB is getting the most. Dallas, 348 passing, 125 rushing, 473. By the way, Dak did not look good this game. And they got that first touchdown, and then the second half kind of happened. And, our defense was taking hits, and they were getting tired. They had 2 minutes of offensive possession, and then 2 minutes of TV timeout and a minute of getting on the field. They had anywhere between 4 to 6 minutes rest in between drives. Nothing that's going to sustain. There's nobody that's going to be able to sustain this type of level of effort time and time again. Dan, one of the other bonehead plays, I just can't
Preach,
believe
brother,
this.
preach. Go ahead. I know where you're going.
Okay, are we going to special teams here?
Yes, I know it. Go ahead.
Okay,
Vent on this.
What? Oh my God, I don't even know where to fucking start. I just can't believe that somebody, Gibson, touches the ball. What was it? The 2nd-yard line or something? Maybe
The 2-yard line.
The 2-yard line. You are taught anything past the 10 goes into the end zone. Hell, anything past the 5 goes into it. You touch the ball. And then after you touch the ball, you tried to do some juking and all this other stuff, and then you fumble the ball. First of all, you made 2 bonehead plays in this thing. One, you got the ball at 2. You let it go, so we had some room. while the offense was not doing well, it might have been a chance that we did well, and this game could have turned the other way. Then you tried all your other moves, and the entire team came down onto you, and you fumbled it. What the hell is going on? You were doing great most of the season, don't get me wrong. I mean, I thought, oh my God, why? Why did you touch it? What went through your mind? I am going to run through all these people. Please give me the ball. No, not at all.
And furthermore, the situation in which he did was ridiculous. Think about Saquon fumbled it, okay? And then your defense held Dallas. They didn't get a touchdown off that fumble. Dallas punts. And you field the ball at the 2-yard line. Why? Your one job on this team is to field friggin' punts, okay? And I know I'm going to make you happy when I say this. Where's Britton Covey? He's on the practice squad.
He's on the practice squad. He is on the team. I know
you call his ass up. You sit Xavier Gibson because it's not like he's an offensive threat out there. You sit his ass and you bring in Britton Covey. At least you know
Covey could also be a fourth wide receiver, by the way. Just saying.
I don't even need him to be a receiver.
I need him. He could be a little hidden gem.
The hidden gem for Britton Covey is that he's not stupid enough to field a punt at the 2-yard line. He's not. And he got lucky that
defense bailed his ass out, and it was just he got lucky.
The goal line stop.
Yep. They stopped it for that. He got lucky on that, but still, you just put our offense you put the whole entire team in a stupid decision.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I didn't see the injury report, but I hope to God he's injured. I don't want to see him out there, please. And
Nick ain't making any changes. In fact, Nick, I got faith in my guys the next Sunday. We're all going to make mistakes, but how many mistakes do you got to make before a change happens?
There's mistakes, and then there's just a complete dementia moment, and that's a dementia moment. You know, the 2-yard line, the only thing I know he fumbled, but the only thing funnier and stupider of that situation would be if he called a fair catch on the 2-yard line. That's the only thing that's worse.
That would have been, that would have definitely, I'm sorry, you're going to the practice squad. Covey, come here. Get it off.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one play. It was actually a turnover, but unfortunately, one of our guys didn't get off the field in time. He was wrestling and running and hustling there. Dak knew it. And in fact, we didn't see it during the play of the game, where it was a smart move by Dak. I'll give you that. You know, he got a free play out of the thing of, 12 men on the field. It was a turnover, too. Bond got it, right? So...
Yeah, I think so.
It was, and then it was that's another. There were so many penalties in the second half. The Eagles were stepping over themselves, only because they did make some bonehead plays themselves. But, Jerry probably called down and gave the refs their little, hey, listen, guys, we need some more of these. Some of the plays were ridiculous. Some of the penalties were so stupid. The false start on Juergens, it was commented that by the head officiating ref or whatever, was it Gene? Gene might have been jumping in there.
Gene Steratore, yeah.
Yeah, he whipped his head too quick, and that caused a false start. Bullshit I'm going to call on that, but hey, whatever. And then the pass interference on DeJean should have been offensive. He was in his face, hand in his, and the ref was standing right there. There would have been no way that should not have been offensive pass interference. That kept it.
How are you allowed? I understand you're going to allow hand fighting. Okay,
that's not hand.
Exactly, that's not hand fighting. The Pickens stiff-armed him in the face mask and pushed up on his face mask.
Yep.
How is that defensive pass interference? That is ridiculous. Oh my
DeJean should have fell to the ground then when he did it, because either way he was going out of bounds. He was like, in my face, whatever, and that was ridiculous.
Let's not use that as a scapegoat. Okay, they lost this game.
Oh, no, not
but
at
the
all.
fact
DeJean
is
should be on the outside there, though.
The fact is how many games are we going to watch where the refs are just inept? Don't they take training classes in the off season? Why is it, you know, at this point, here's my fix to that real quick. Think about when these plays are called, pass interference or whatever. It's pretty quick that people like Gene Steratore are saying, yeah, I don't think that's pass interference. He says this before the next play happens. Why are we not allowed to have a guy in a tower like Gene Steratore phone down and say, listen, that wasn't pass interference. That was offensive pass interference, and switch the call? I mean, why are we not allowed to do these things? You can't challenge a penalty, okay? So throw that out the window. You can't have a booth review on a penalty, which I think is stupid. You need to fix this, okay?
Do you think it's going to slow the game down by every penalty being reviewed by the head one? So, like, at what point does it become more of a... I mean, we don't trust the refs as it is, so I don't care of them overturning it and not trusting the refs. I think that probably about 50% of the penalties that happened for the Eagles in the second half were totally bogus.
I don't think it'll slow... it will slow it down, but I don't think it'll slow it down that much because the people in the booth are stating that it wasn't pass interference or whatever before the next play is snapped. So I don't think it's going to slow it down that much. And I'm not saying overturn everything, okay? But in a critical situation like that, where you have a million camera angles in which it's not defensive pass interference, you need to be able to overturn that call. It's too critical of a moment. It's too egregious that, it happened that way, that you can't make that counter call. And the refs are just, it's every game. There's nothing consistent, and they just suck every game.
Except when they're reffing for the Chiefs. It's very consistent for them.
Oh, it's consistently BS.
All right, Dan, we got to wrap things up, and I got to talk real quick. Predictions, and I'm almost going to put down yours, but I'm going to give you a chance to change it up. So the Eagles play this Black Friday, 3 p.m. at the Link, home game. And, you know what? I'm going to change this real quick. In fact, we'll do our predictions in 1 second. Dan, how awesome was it to see the Kelly Green on an away game in Dallas, though?
I love the Kelly Green. I'm okay for them switching to Kelly Green full time.
Now, that was once, and people going back and forth. They got the new ones, great. Let's go back to the Kelly Green. I mean, this shit, first of all, they looked great. I love the look, the layout, and everything on that. It sucks that they lost. It was the first time they wore Kelly Green away in over like 130-some games, too.
Yeah, I love the logo. I mean, it's nostalgic to see that logo because immediately when I see that logo, I'm thinking, wow, Reggie White, Clyde Simmons. Maybe not Brian Dawkins. He was a little after that, but... Randall Cunningham. It's a cool thing to see, and I'd like to see more of it. Maybe half the games in Kelly Green. I'd be cool with that.
That would definitely be cool. I think we all liked that. It was great to see it, and I wore my Kelly Green for that, and obviously today. Okay, Dan, Week 13 predictions this Friday, Black Friday, 3 p.m. against the Bears. The Eagles right now 8-3. I think the Bears are the same. Bears are. They're 8-3 as well, but they're not a solid 8-3. Let's just put it that way.
Are we?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that. So, Dan, let's put in your predictions. What do you have going on?
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think that their offense wakes up in this game, at least, and they score 31 points. 31.
You were going there.
31-20.
31-20. I have to specify Eagles win in this. Any side predictions?
Is it a bold prediction to say Saquon over 75 yards?
Over 75.
Is that we've gone.
God. You did win the one for the Giants. He went over 150 on that. So that was your prediction. That was your bold.
Yeah, but to say that Saquon will get 75 yards, When has that all of a sudden become the over-under on Saquon?
I will take 50 plus would be great.
I'm going to say team rushing over 100 yards, too. It's going to be incredible.
Oh, team over 100. As weird as that sounds, it might be a tough prediction. Okay,
I know.
so do I think Petula is going to get any better in this, in the decisions in the play calling? Do I think the offensive line, and these are all valid concerns that are going into my prediction, are they going to change in this short week? No, I think talent is going to step up. I think, though, when they start passing a lot, AJ Smith, where the hell has Goddard been in the last couple of games? I think when they did pass it to Cooper, by the way. So he got a couple of those. Or no, he got one at least. Do I think it's going to be pure talent in this game? I am going to have to go on. Oh, and Makuba's out, so that definitely puts the defense.
Reed Blankenship's a question mark.
Reed's questionable, so that's a concern. We've got Sidney Brown in there, who we just saw him how he played, and he just wasn't a good. My God, I don't even want to do a prediction.
But the counter to that, okay, I'd be scared with our safeties. Okay, I'd be a lot more afraid if we were playing. Let's say Matthew Stafford. We're playing Caleb Williams, who is okay, but it's not a guy that is overly accurate who's going to torch you down the field. That's the only reason I think that we stand success. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to get at least 2 turnovers on defense. And they're both going to be, we're going to get 2 turnovers on defense. 1 fumble, 1 interception. I don't know why. I just feel like this is going to happen. And
is this a parlay bet?
It's not. I haven't looked at the parlays yet. My parlays were destroyed this weekend.
It was totally atrocious. Okay, so now I got to do my prediction on it. So I've got 2 predictions here. One, I'm an Eagles fan, and I think I can't say we're going to right the ship. I just think we'll win. It's not going to be phenomenal. 21-14 Eagles. Oh, I don't think we're not a high offense. In fact, we haven't seen. This is the last time we've seen 21 points in how long? The Giants game. I just think it's my other vote for this. While I don't want the Eagles to lose, though, if they lose 21-14, do we see Petula go?
Absolutely.
Okay, so mine stands for both, but I'm standing firm on the Eagles win. But maybe my hope Petula goes for it. So anyway, well, that's my prediction on to it. Everybody got to wrap things up before I do. Dan, why don't you close us out?
Yeah, it's been a rough week. I couldn't bring myself to watch much of Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football, I watched a little bit. I know it hurts. It's against Dallas. It pisses you off. All we can do at this point is stay firm that we love our birds and that we're going to see some kind of significance. There is a silver lining to this, people, and that is that if we beat the Bears, we hold the tiebreaker on pretty much everybody in the top of the NFC. And I know we're in the 2nd seed right now, so we're going to have to get some help. But if they can right the ship, we do have a light at the end of the tunnel. We have a pretty easy schedule coming out. So dare I say we can start finding ourselves. Maybe we'll have an identity by week 16. But stay firm, and we love our birds no matter what, guys. So go Birds.
Like Dan, I did not watch Sunday Night Football. I actually could not watch football at all. I put on the Philadelphia Union soccer game and watched that instead. And I watched a little bit of the Monday night. I'm still a little disgusted here about how they performed. I feel that I don't know about finding our identity. I think we can figure shit out as long as we kick people out. So it might be one of those things. And, we still are 8-3. And, could be 9-3 come this Friday. So I'm hoping they definitely win. Other than that, this has been the Philly Fan Radio. I'm Jon Myer along with Dan Palmieri. Go Birds.
Go Birds.